Hey guys, well, I'm back. We're on project MISFIT again. I know in the first video we were doing just a brief description of what we're building. Today I wanted to refer back to the engine. So in the first video we were talking about trying to decide between trick flow aluminum heads and AFR aluminum heads, and we finally made our decision and we ordered the AFR 185 Renegade heads. And they just came in yesterday, so like a little kid in a candy store, I get to unbox them and see how they look. So let's get these things out of the box and take a look at them. Looks like we have some guide plates. Rocker studs. And I have to be honest, I've been telling everybody, I've been building cars since I was a kid. This is honestly the first time I've actually been able to afford to build it right, not use stock cast heads. And wow, what a nice piece. Like I said, these are the Renegade heads, so they are CNC'd. 202 valves, I think, on the intake. 1.6 on the exhaust, but man, what beautiful machine work. Beautiful heads. And so, to go on top of these heads, I decided, obviously I wanted to run some nice stud mount roller rockers. After doing a lot of research, talking to other guys, finding out what people are running, we decided we were gonna go with the Scorpion 1.72s, stepping up from the 1.6s to the 1.72s, which will give me a little more lift on my cam. Like I said, these AFR 185s come with the 202 valves, intake valves, 1.6 exhaust. Luckily, with the duration of my cam, like I said, it's 220 at 50 thousandths. Supposedly with a lower duration like that, I don't have to worry about my valves trying to make love with my pistons at some point and destroying my engine. So, also on these heads, like I said, they come with these adjustable guide plates. It's a pretty nice setup. Most of you probably already know, but those of you that don't, so your push rods go through here to operate your rocker arms, and they give you a nice adjustable guide plate to keep those push rods straight. And like I said, now, once you get your rockers installed, of course we want these rockers to taste these roller tips to stay centered on the end of the valve. So once we have everything assembled, we can adjust these plates and the push rods and tighten everything down to keep that valve centered on that rocker arm. And you've got the adjuster nuts to tighten down. You get your push rods in, rockers adjusted, and you're all set. Very nice product. Big thanks to AFR. Very impressed. These heads do come CNC machined, so all of our ports, our intake ports, are all CNC machined. Our exhaust ports, flip this head around. Our exhaust ports are all CNC'd machines. So like I was telling her, most of your power coming from your engine is based on your cylinder head choice. The factory cylinder heads are cast iron, have a much smaller CC. Like I said, these are 185s. I'm not sure what the factory ones are, but much smaller valves. Of course, the cast is not machined inside. So the more fuel and air we can get through these things, the faster we can get them through, the more power our engine is going to make. AFR does make a 165cc. After watching a lot of videos of Richard Holdner, there's a lot of great videos on engine builds and components. The 185 AFRs are the better route. If I decide someday to go to a 351 based engine, these heads are going to be able to flow a larger cubic inch engine than the 165s would. 165s would work great on this motor, but after testing the 185s, really there was a few horsepower loss in the bottom end, quite a bit more you picked up in the higher RPMs. Again, that's why I chose the 185s. Another CNC part, if you notice the combustion chambers, again, all CNC'd. AFR does a beautiful job with these heads specifically designed to make power. We're hoping this motor, with this setup, we're hoping we can be somewhere around the 400 to 450 horsepower mark, which I know doesn't sound like much, but in a small lightweight truck, I think it should be quite the fun little street/strip truck when we get her done. This is my 5-liter roller motor, which I had originally purchased from someone else for my Fox body Mustang, which I no longer have. I had it just sitting back in the shop, so decided I wanted to build this motor to put in place of the 4.6. Supposedly this motor was just a stock 5-liter motor, which it did have the factory cast heads on it, but once I got it pulled apart, someone evidently has been in this motor fairly recent. It's been bored out. It's got 60 over pistons in it. Kind of nice to know this motor's pretty fresh. The front of the motor, as you can see, I've done a CVF accessory kit, which does come with the alternator as well, which will get mounted once the heads are on. The camshaft, I'm not going to tell you guys what it is because everybody will give me for running a dinosaur of a cam, but I had it, and when you're on a budget, you use what you have. So I will tell you it's a 498 lift, 220 duration at 50 thousandths. Like I said, the 172 rockers, I think, take the lift somewhere up in the 520 something range, which hopefully would be good for this application. And then intake, like I said before, we're running the Edelbrock Victor Jr. We've got a complete Holley sniper system with the distributor, ignition control, and then headers. I was able to pick up a set of American Racing 1 3/4 long tubes, 3-inch collectors. And these are actually for a Fox body Mustang, but fit in the pickup truck with this motor like it was all made for it, which is kind of crazy. We had to do no modifications to get the headers in. So again, pretty excited to get all this put together. So I'll probably start in the next week or so, getting things assembled. Once we get everything assembled, put together, I'll do a video of everything ready to go into the truck. We've got our head gaskets, intake gaskets. We've got our ARP head bolt set. Now I think it's time to start putting this thing together and see how she looks all done. Any other questions, please leave comments. Like I said, feel free to email us. Appreciate you guys watching. If you would, please go down, like, subscribe, share, join our channel. I'm going to keep adding more content on the truck and the build as soon as possible. Appreciate you guys watching. Thanks.